What's up, everybody? This is the Greek Grinder, and welcome to another podcast. Normally, my podcasts are in Greek, but this time we're going to do something different. I will do it in English. I don't know if you noticed it, but I'm speaking English right now. So today we will have a special guest. Get ready for some kappas, some lemon lions, and some rib and pepperonis. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaime Staples. Hi, Jaime.
Hello. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Let's go, Dottie. Let's get the lemon lions up there.
I don't know if you noticed it, but you've just been inducted into Greek Grinders Poker Hall of Fame. I don't know if you have the chance in the future to get into the actual Poker Hall of Fame in the WSOP, but you're in Greek Grinders already.
That's good enough for me. I feel like well, thank you so much. I'm honored.
Okay, so how's your EPT Malta trip?
So I've never been to Malta, so it's been a new experience, and what a beautiful place it is. So it's been kind of cool seeing some of the island and experiencing a different kind of life than what I'm used to in Canada. In terms of the actual poker, I played the EPT Main Event yesterday for about 4 hands, and then I busted. And that was the end of the tournament. So like a really disappointing showing, I guess. But I just got into a weird hand and I couldn't get away, and that was it. So
do you recall the last hand?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we can absolutely get into it because I've been telling everyone I know to get their thoughts. So this is cool. So I sit down, and the blinds are 150, 300, and I start with 30,000 chips. So I have 100 big blinds, and I am under the gun. And I think I make a mistake by raising to 700 here instead of something like 900. But I did make it just over a min raise to 700. Now, under the gun +1 called, under the gun +2 called, the cutoff called, the button called, and then it gets around to the big blind. And the big blind is sitting on maybe 5,400 chips or so, 17 big blinds. And he seems like a little bit of a rumbler. You know, he's got a short stack. He's joking around at the table. He shoves and he says, "You don't got to worry about me, boys." And, some people are laughing at the table and stuff. So even though I just got there, it was pretty clear to me that this guy was interested in getting his chips in the middle fairly quickly. So I decided to call with jacks because I thought there was one person at the table that theoretically could have aces and kings, and that would be under the gun +1. And I wouldn't want to risk it all against him. Mm-hmm. So I called. And then under the gun +1 folds, under the gun +2 folds, the cutoff folds, and it gets back to the button who shoves.
Whoa, he had the same stack as you?
He had a little bit more. He had about 50,000 or so. But I mean, covering us both, obviously. So immediately I'm just like, what's going on here, right? He was the 4th caller in the hand, so it doesn't make any sense for him to have aces or kings, and I think it's almost completely impossible.
Not even queens, I think.
Yeah, see, and when I was thinking about it, I thought, in my head when I was doing the calculations, all right, I'll give him 1/4 chance of having queens here, so I discounted it, right? So I thought, and I tried to figure out a way that I could get away from it. And the only thing I was thinking about was maybe he saw the short stack, looking like he wanted to shove, and that could give him a chance to slow play. But recalling the way he put in the chips, I didn't think it was likely. So I ended up calling, and he had queens. So that was the end of the journey for me, and I was kind of surprised. There is a little bit of a twist in this hand, in that the button was a known player, mm-hmm. which makes it a little bit harder. It was Eugene Kachelov.
Oh,
yeah, who is not a guy that is going to be punting off chips early in the tournament. So
a really strange way to play his queens, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. He tricked me. So I don't know. What do you think about it?
I don't know. It's really strange. I think it is really difficult to find a fold there with your hand. Maybe the fact that it was Eugene Kachalov, maybe it could make you think that he wouldn't do it really light. But I don't know. I don't know how he plays exactly. So maybe it was really difficult to fold in this situation. To be honest, I kind of feel a little bad too because I wished you about 1,000 times good luck before the main event, and and I read yesterday on your Twitter that you busted on the fourth hand. I said, no, come on. So let's hope that I will bring you some good luck on the rest of the tournaments. Are you planning to play anything else?
I haven't really looked at the schedule yet, but I'm sure I'll play something over the coming days. I'm leaving on the 29th, so I definitely have some time to get in some tournaments before I head over to New Jersey for the PokerStars Festival.
Oh, so, you're continuing with another festival. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be back to back, which is exciting. I'm used to the online grind, as you probably know, so it's I'm getting all the travel in right now. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's really nice to have all these trips and meet people and stuff. I believe that live poker, if you count out the fact that you might be losing money and a big amount of money because live poker is really expensive, I think that the whole experience really worth all the money you might lose.
Absolutely, yeah. I view these tournaments as, okay, so I'm going to play the main event. And I don't think that over the long run I'm going to be able to make enough money in the main event to pay for the hotel and the flights and the food or whatever, right? But it's a two-pronged thing where it's like you get to travel and experience a bunch of the world, and then also on the side you get to play this poker tournament where theoretically you're profitable and making money in that as well. So it's I really enjoy traveling for the EPTs.
Okay, so let's go back a little bit to the online grind that you said earlier. Recently, you just moved in Montreal, if I'm right, and you started a new vlog series on a new channel, right?
I did, yeah. So just moved to Montreal recently, and I've started daily vlogging. It ends up being once every 2 days or so, but I've started vlogging a little bit of my life behind the scenes of what it's like to play online poker for people that don't know anything about it, as well as what it's like to stream and try and create content around poker and be an ambassador for the game. So I've been doing that fairly consistently for about a month and a half now.
Great. So what I want to ask you about all this stuff is, right now you are a professional poker player, you are a streamer, and also you are a YouTuber. And I want to make it clear that streamer and YouTuber is not the same. How do you manage to find all the time? You want to be a better player, you want to be a better streamer, you want to be a better YouTuber. How do you manage the time to figure out all this stuff?
Yeah, if I can be honest, it's quite difficult. There's endless things to do. So it just comes down to prioritizing what is the most important at any given time, and then just not doing some of the things that aren't, which doesn't feel good, especially for someone like me, where I really like work and I like being driven and getting stuff done. So, I'll take a look at everything that's on my plate, and for right now, typically it's like my Twitch stream is number one in importance. And then, the quality of my Twitch stream, which comes down to my poker play, is number two. So getting better at the game. And then number three would be my poker YouTube channel. And then number four would be my vlogging channel, right? So on some days, I'll be able to hit all four of those and really crush them out. On some days, I'll only be able to get to one or two. But it's just, it's prioritizing and using the time you have.
Yeah, because there is a really important factor, and it is how well you run on the poker tables. I think that this factor is important for all the other ones, and if it doesn't go well, it probably makes the other ones too go bad. Is this true?
Absolutely, yes. I've been on a very big downswing this year. I've downswung about $70,000 since the start of the year. Now I have been playing like quite high stakes because I'm financially in the opportunity to be able to take some shots at some really difficult tournaments. So, I don't feel too bad about that from a poker player perspective. But of course, from an audience perspective, it makes it difficult, right? People don't understand poker swings naturally if you don't play, right? So it certainly adds strain and stress to the other areas as you go through variance in poker. because people lose confidence relatively quickly.
And now that you say that, you give me the chance to say also that, in my opinion, you are one of the most harshly treated poker players in the poker community around the world, because you've done so many things about poker, and how popular the game is, and how many new players are attracted into the game. I believe that you are one of the biggest influencers, if I could say it this way, and yet you are really harshly treated from the audience, because they stick to the results many time, and you're not allowed to stream because you don't know how to play poker and stuff like that. How do you feel about it?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's not a great feeling. Obviously, it's just not fun. Negative feedback, but I think it's the way in which I've chosen to grow in the game, which doesn't make a ton of sense to some of the audience, that doesn't have the full picture. So, I mean, I played poker for 6 years, and it's been my only source of income, but it was always just small stakes. Like, I was just playing enough to get by or whatever, and I'd play things like the Sunday Million or whatever, but I would, never any 1Ks or something. So all of a sudden Twitch started up, and I signed with Poker Stars, and I signed some other, sponsorships and stuff like that. And I had some revenue, right? And what I choose to do with that is put it back into the business, which is, I'm going to shoot for the stars and really try and do something special in the game of poker, because I have the financial ability to do that, right? I can afford to go on a 70K downswing. Maybe not much more. We're throwing it back.
We're on the limit.
Yeah, but I really swung for the fences, right? And that's not something that very many people will do in poker, right? Those are typically what people consider the fish, where they just jump in to the higher stakes and they lose, and that's like their recreation. So, I didn't do it in a way where I've earned my keep at the higher stakes. Mm-hmm. I sort of jumped in and trying to gain experiences and grow from playing in those fields. And do it that way, which I think is faster, but it's not something that's going to make sense, I think, to a lot of the detractors of my stream and of me. So, I made that choice. It's something that I just have to live with, but hopefully if I keep improving, we'll start hitting some scores, and it'll all be okay in the end.
Yeah, and I believe that we as humans, generally, we have a bad habit to only stick in bad criticism. So, when someone says something good about us and about our game, or about our general work in the game of poker, we say, okay, yeah, thank you for saying something good. But when someone says something bad, it probably eats us somehow, and it won't even let us sleep in the night if it's something really bad. So I think that we generally need to stick more to positive feedback and not that much to negative feedback.
Right. Yeah, it's a balancing act between making sure that you are getting honest feedback, but you're absolutely getting a bunch of negativity thrown at you. So I try and find the constructive parts of negativity and figure out, why they're upset or why they don't like me or whatever that is, and see if there's a common thread amongst more people than just them. But you're right. The poker world, and I guess maybe just life in general, I'm not sure, does feel a little bit bogged down a lot from negativity. So I try and surround myself with the positive people as much as possible.
I'm asking you all this stuff because I believe that I have some kind of experience since I was streaming a little bit about 4 or 5 months ago. And I found it really difficult to be able to accomplish all these goals, to be a good poker player, to be a good streamer, and all this stuff. I believe that something that it is really difficult is the fact that you have to track your highlights and to make all those YouTube videos afterwards. How do you do this?
I definitely wouldn't be able to do it on my own. There just wouldn't be enough hours in the day, because it would take, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours per video.
Yeah, sure.
So I record while I'm streaming, and then I also use a program that makes a timestamp when I think something interesting is happening that would be useful to have in the video. And then I upload that video onto Google Drive, and I send off the timestamps, and I work with some editors that sort of edit out those moments and put them together, put some music in them, so that you get to see like the best of what happened during the day.
Yeah, because I was trying to do. I had a pen and a paper next to me, and every time I was about to stream, I said, "Okay, today I will track down all my highlights." Not even one time I managed to write a single time that is about a highlight.
Yeah.
So I ended up watching a 10-hour video afterwards to try and find the highlights into the video, which is something really time consuming, and you cannot do it. Just that.
It's an interesting problem with streaming because the amount of content that poker streamers are making is like 40 hours a week. It's an insane amount of poker. But the hard part is finding the really engaging and interesting parts and then using that on other platforms, right? Like on YouTube, even on Twitter, on Instagram. There's all these little small things that would really resonate with an audience, but you have to be able to find them. So, if things go well for me, that's going to be sort of the next thing I look to adding to my team is someone that is a content curator, right? They look through the stuff and they figure out what in the day can be used on different platforms to try and help get the word out about poker and my stream.
Yeah. If you have all those activities every day, I believe that this is something that you have to have in your schedule, a content curator to do all these things. So I wanted also to ask you about something really nice that you did recently, the online charity streams. Tell us a little bit about what exactly it was, how much money you managed to raise and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was an awesome week. So I was sitting at the table with Jeff Gross, who is one of my roommates in Montreal, and we were sort of talking about, hey, what can we do together? Because Jeff's there for about a month and a half. So like, how can we make this stream house like really gel and be like a team for a while? And I came up with the idea, hey, what if we do a 1 week straight stream where one of us is always online and then we always host each other and we can give 100% of our donations to charity. And then Jeff was like, that's a great idea. I have a perfect charity because he was roommates with Michael Phelps. And Michael Phelps has a foundation that helps underprivileged kids be able to get swimming lessons and sort of, be able to be safe around water and have an alternative purpose other than, just living, right? Like recreational sports. Mm-hmm. So he came up with the charity. I came up with the idea. We asked the roommates. They're both on board. And we sort of kicked it off on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. And we were live for 187 hours straight, playing poker and sort of hosting each other through the night. There was a stipulation where if anyone donated $100 at any point, at any hour, they would have to wake me up and I'd have to say thank you on the stream. So I went up, I don't know, maybe 30 times throughout the week, which was a lot of fun. But overall, we raised $21,000 for the Michael Phelps Foundation.
That's great.
And it was just a really positive and fun experience.
Yeah, it's great. It was you, Jeff Gross, your brother, Matt Staples, and Kevin Martin, right?
That's correct, yeah. All streamers.
Is any one of them with you? I think that I saw Kevin streaming the other day, so I believe that he's not in Malta.
Yeah, he's not in Malta. He's actually going to run it up Reno in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And then my brother Matt and Jeff are in Montreal for now.
So let's talk about a little bit about Greece. Do you know Greece?
Greece, yes. I've never been, but I am aware of the country, yes.
when you hear the word Greece, what comes in mind?
First, the pre-registration of tournaments.
Okay.
When people register the tournaments, right? That's the first thing, because every lobby you look at is just full of Greek players.
And you say, come on, those Greeks are so good that they are pre-registering to all tournaments, ready to ship everything. What is going on?
Yeah. And it's a very common question in my Twitch chat. Like, hey, why is there all Greeks in this tournament? And then second, I think of white sand beaches and beautiful water. And then I don't know, like that's what I think of when I think of Greece. Is that ignorant? What do I need to know?
It is good that you said those things because if you ask a Greek guy what comes in mind when you hear the word Greece, they will tell you sun and political corruption. Those are the two things that comes in mind. So the fact that you didn't count political corruption and you said about pre-registering, it's something really, really important and really nice. We had also an EPT here. I believe it was in 2010 or 2011. I don't remember. But I don't know if you were playing poker this time.
I was playing the $3 rebuys. I think it was
Okay.
outside my bankroll, but
Yeah, it was kind of hard to be in an EPT. Great. What are your plans from now on? You're planning to go to New Jersey, and afterwards you are back to Montreal to the regular streaming, right?
yes, that's the plan. So New Jersey after this, then Montreal for about 3.5 weeks. I intend to stream as much as possible. I'd say every day, but I'm assuming something will come up at some point where I'll have to take a day off. And then I'm actually going to the next 3 PokerStars stops. So I'm going to Prague, and then to Bahamas, and then to Panama City when the PokerStars Championships kicks off next year. So,
do we have dates about the Panama City?
Yeah, it's March, I think, March 10th or so.
March 10th, okay.
Yeah.
Is it summer then?
I'm not sure. It's like on the equator, so I'm assuming it's going to be warm. But
okay. From all the things that you lived from your career in online poker mostly, what would you say that it is the most important moment on all your career? Is it a big cash you made? Is it the day you created your Twitch channel? Is it the day you became a PokerStars Pro? What is it?
So I think in terms of a poker accomplishment, it would be when I won the big 109 for the second time. Was probably like my biggest feeling moment in terms of a poker cash, because I won it a month before. It was on the day that I signed with PokerStars, which is just like a ridiculous thing that happened. You know? So there was so much media attention, and then I just banked the big 109. But I think in terms of like what I would consider my overall poker career, signing with PokerStars was the biggest moment for me, because when I got into the game, when I was 18, I got into it because I wanted to be one of those guys on TV that played poker and seemed to live this lifestyle that, I mean, is maybe a bit of a mirage, I realize now. But, I wanted to be one of those people that was an ambassador for poker, mm-hmm. And sponsored pro. And to look back on that dream that I had just out of high school, to actually accomplish it was a pretty surreal feeling, to be able to get there and so quickly. So, I was really honored to be a part of the team, and still am. And I think that was like the moment for me that, wow, this is really happening.
Yeah,
what is
it is when you realize and you say, this is real. People know me.
I still have to think myself. Like it feels very bizarre that I'm in this spot, but it's such a fun and exciting time. I try and make the most of it.
The win on the big 109 was the most important moment of your career, not the 5th place on the Sunday warm up.
It was a slightly bigger cash, yes, and and I had even more viewers when it was happening. But I think just the timing of the 109 with the sponsorship at the same time and stuff like that was just like a bit of a fairy tale to me personally. So
I think that generally in poker, you might win a tournament for $500 and you might come 5th for $5K, and the win will be more important.
Yeah.
Whenever you win something, I think that the feeling you have the next moment is really amazing.
Yeah.
And you cannot compare it with any other cash in the world.
How sick are tournaments where you're just 900 out of 901 guys are going to go home disappointed? Like, yeah. It's such a sick game. I love it so much.
Yeah. The nature of the game is really crazy.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on, and if any of your audience is looking to watch some poker or check out some of the vlogs, you can do that on twitch.tv/pokerstaples or youtube.com/pokerstaples or youtube.com/Jaime Staples. So those are the places you can sort of find my content. And as always, thanks to PokerStars and Poker Refugees, who are my two sponsors right now, and really help me out in being able to make the stuff I make. So, but it's been a pleasure being on the show, man.
Great, thank you for being here, and thank you for saying all your links, because I was about to say that I will add all those links on the description of the YouTube video that I will upload with the podcast. But you saved me some work. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for being here with me. I wish you all the best for the rest of your trip in Malta, and on all your future endeavors on New Jersey and online stuff. Thanks again for being here. I wish you the best.
Thanks so much. See you, George.